Okay, so welcome to the taster session.
Hello.
Okay, right then. If you have any questions as I'm going along, please do ask. If you want to participate, please chip in. That'd be nice. I can give you feedback there. Um, this is A1. The courses that I run, actually, I divide each level into 3.
I recommend it.
Okay, if I mute you there, Laura. Okay. So I'm just going to take a note here. We've got A1.1, which is total beginner for people who are starting from 0 or want to review from 0. We have A1.2, moving up from total beginner. Both of these courses are focusing on teaching you words and phrases that help you deal with everyday situations here. Going to the market, going to the post office, going to the health center, etc. Each lesson is geared at one situation. And we focus a lot on pronunciation and listening, so that as well as learning all the words and how it goes together, where you're learning how to identify things and pronounce them in the way that they're pronounced in European Portuguese. The A1.3 course, the top of A1, is a course which takes you through the present tense. So this also reviews the pronunciation of everything. We'll be looking at everything in a contextual way as well, but it will also include the beginnings of the grammar there. Okay, so everyone chooses where they want to start. Here in this taster lesson, it's very much like the material that we would find in A1.2 or A1.1. Okay. Okay, does anyone have any questions before we get started?
No, I'm okay.
Oh, okay. Okay, right then. So here I thought the numbers we'd take a look at because they're so super useful. We use them all the time. Money, the time, the quantity of things, the weather for the temperature, the road numbers. Numbers, super, super useful. Knowing what they are and pronouncing them correctly. So if anyone wants to shout out, if you know them, we've got here one is mm, mm, mm. Two is
Dois,
dois. Three is
três,
três. Four is quatro.
quatro,
Quatro. Five is
cinco,
cinco. Six is
seis,
seis. Seis.
Michael,
And seven is
sete,
set. Set. Eight
oito,
is oito. Nine. Nove. And 10 is
dois,
10. 10. So this worksheet's got the answers. I'm just going to skip right down to them. Dois, três, quatro, cinco,
seis,
seis, sete,
sete,
oito,
oito.
nove, 10. Okay. Really nice to be able to say this correctly. I think it's really nice in class to say them after me. So you can also see me, see what I'm doing with my lips. Do you want me to repeat any?
I'm good.
You did? Okay. Okay. So do you want to say them after me or I'll just say them a bit more slowly. If you want to say them after, you can. So first of all, it's not it's mm.
Mm-hmm.
And the sh at the end. Dois.
Dois,
And then
três,
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 quatro,
quatro,
at the end. Quatro, quatro.
quatro,
And then cinco,
cinco,
seis,
seis,
sete,
sete,
oito,
oito,
nove.
nove,
Good. 10.
dez.
Okay. See. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Useful. Okay. I didn't give you 0. Very easy. Zero.
Então,
Zero. Zero.
zero.
Zero. Zero. Now, in Portuguese, for phone numbers, we generally use the single digits. So, if I were to ask qual é, or if you were to ask me, qual é o seu número de telemóvel? Qual é o seu número de telemóvel? What's your mobile number? I would tell you mine is 9692927 Yeah, follow that? Okay. We also have número de contribuinte here in Portugal, the tax number. Qual é o seu número de contribuinte? O NIF. NIF. Does anyone want to have a go at saying their phone number? Qual é o seu número de telemóvel?
You want to say it?
No.
966?
It's 9.
Okay. Normally in classes, I present all this material prior to class in the video that you get. And then in the class, when you're doing your speaking, we don't do it in the group. We go into breakout rooms once we're all comfortable. So we're only working in pairs, which makes it, I think, a lot less intimidating. Yeah. Okay. Then if we go to the 1 to 10, we've numbers 11 to 20. In my opinion, these are the most difficult numbers. They're quite tricky, difficult pronunciation, also not as used as much. So I usually say, don't worry so much about these numbers. Get your 1 to 10, and then your 20, 30, 40, 50, etc., because you get a lot of value for the learning there. But here you are for curiosity, 11 to 20. I'll read them to get the pronunciation. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And now these are really squashed. 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay. You can see elements of the other numbers. The 6, 7, 8, 9. Then it's like 10, 6, 10, 7, 10, 8, 10, 9. It's quite similar to other Latin languages as well, but the pronunciation is quite different. 20, 20, yeah. Okay, nice exercise. Is to count up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Backwards. 29, 18, 16, 17, 15, 14, 13, 14, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, good brain gym. Gets you working hard. Okay. Again, in class, you practice this with a partner. Then you can go into breakout rooms on Zoom. Very nice. Okay. Let's look at some pronunciation here. All lessons contain some pronunciation. And one of the key things with European Portuguese is we have one part of each word that's emphasized. This makes it different from Brazilian Portuguese, French, Spanish, because rather than being even in my rhythm, I'm more I'm hitting one syllable each time. So I've got a few words here, 2 and 3 syllables. What would I say with these ones? Do I say grego or do I say gregu? What do you think? Grego or gregu? Anyone?
Right.
Grego, yeah. And do I say tarde or do I say
Tarde.
tarde?
Tarde.
Tarde, yeah. And do I say verde or verde?
Verde.
Verde, yeah. See how this the emphasis there. And
Good
then
job.
we've got 3 options. Do I say parede or parede or parede?
Pareda.
Parede, yeah, in the middle, that's right, you got it. And now, is it mesa or mesa?
Mesa.
Mesa, yeah. So we have a rule here, very nice pattern.
Mhm.
All of the words that end in vowels, like these, we emphasize the syllable before the end. So can you see I've highlighted that there? Grego, tarde, ver, red, mesa. So the emphasize means it's longer. I hear it more clearly, stressed. The E is a tricky letter in Portuguese because often it's not very clear. And we're left wondering, when is it clearly pronounced and when is it not clearly pronounced? So these words contain examples of that there. So I'll say grego, but I'll say tard. I'll say verde,
Ver,
parede, and I'll say mesa.
mesa.
So can we see this pattern of E's that are in emphasized syllables
Or this
that are
is
very clear? Like in the word ge. All the E's that are come outside of this emphasized syllable are very weak, like the English word emission, the E there that's very, very short. Okay. So I can't say silent, but clipped to the extreme, which is quite interesting. And so this is why we seem to lose our beginnings and ends of words and also middles, really squashed up, to, very characteristic of European Portuguese. So here I've got some words, and can you see I've highlighted the emphasized part?
Yeah, this is it, the emphasized part.
Mhm.
So here
Verda.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna say like
Yeah,
in
this
Brazil,
part.
it would be noite, wouldn't it?
No,
But in Portugal, I'll say noite. Yeah,
right,
noite. Yeah.
right.
This is the number 13. Oh yeah.
That's-
Tres. Yeah. Tres.
Okay.
And then we've got set.
Night is night.
Mhm.
Noite is night. Noite is night. Or night. Good night. Good evening.
Set.
Set.
7.
Mhm.
And this
Tres.
one.
3.
Tres. Tres. 13. Noite. Tres. Set.
Try that. No.
Night.
Tres.
Tres. Set.
Yeah, very good. These ones here I've got, it means nom, nom means name.
Mhm.
Number 5, cinco means I understand. And I'm going to squash up the beginning E. Percebo, percebo,
Percebe.
percebo, percebo, percebo.
Said, but it's very squashed.
Question. In
Percebo.
Sage, this means pen.
One thing to say.
Very clear.
The pronunciation.
Caneta, caneta, caneta.
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 Neta.
Caneta, caneta, caneta.
Mhm.
Number 6, that means surname, family name.
Mhm.
And I'm going to squash this E here. Li, I'm going to emphasize. Apelido, apelido.
Apelido. Mhm.
No, I'm not going to say apelido.
Mhm.
Apelido, apelido,
Plido.
apelido.
Mhm.
See? You see how that sounds very Portuguese? Apelido.
Yeah, very much so. Apelido.
Oito means Germany. Again, I'm going to squash that E at the beginning. Romania, Romania, Romania. And number 9, no, means telephone. But I'm not going to say telephone. I'm going to say telephone, telephone, which is a great example of what's happening here. Okay, so this is a really nice thing to have a little think about when you're listening. You go, oh yeah, that's why I'm not hearing the whole word. That's why it doesn't sound like it looks like. This aspect of European Portuguese of hitting the emphasized part hard and then really the unemphasized syllables. These vowels, these E's are super soft here. Is that okay?
Mhm.
Okay, moon. Okay, and then it's really just a little taste of the lessons, but all lessons have dialogues. So you receive a pack, a study pack before the lessons. Well, you get access to the online platform with all the study packs for the course there. But in each lesson, in the video and the materials, there's a little video, audio clip of someone speaking, reading a dialogue there. Okay. In the
That's
very
good.
beginning, I like to contextualize everything. So not just the words, but how you might find it in a simple conversation. So to get you ready for that, here we've got some phrases that come up in the dialogue. And we're going to do a little activity to reconstruct the phrases to get the most out of the dialogue.
Mhm.
So I put the beginnings of the phrases here. Este, o autocarro, queria, de, ir aí, quanto tempo, só. They're the beginnings of these 7 phrases. And then at the end, I have the endings, but they're mixed up.
Sorry.
So, dois bilhetes are 2 tickets. É means is. Ida means going, just one way, single. Leva means take time.
I can't either.
No.
Para is 2, 4, 20 minutos. 20 minutes.
Mhm.
Volta is return or back, coming back. So we can reconstruct here. Is this? Este? I think it's é. Este. Este.
Mhm.
Yeah. The bus 2 or 4 is o autocarro
It's got
para.
it.
I
para.
can't read that. You can point your finger
I'm
at it all
sorry.
you
I'm
want.
sorry. I can't read.
O autocarro para. See? I'd like 2 tickets. Queria, then that's going to be here. Dois bilhetes, no?
Choices too.
Dois, 2. 1, 2, 3, yeah? Of going, single. It's de ida, going. And then return, we say of going and returning, coming back. De ida e volta.
Volta.
Mhm.
De ida e volta. How long does it take? We literally say, how much time takes? Quanto tempo leva? Quanto tempo leva? Only 20 minutes. So, will not be that one. 20 minutos. Okay. So, este é o autocarro para. Queria 2 bilhetes. De ida e volta. Quanto tempo leva? Só 20 minutos. There we go. Let's put these in the dialogue here. So we've got Alexandra talking to the motorista, the driver. And Alexandra is saying, desculpe, este é o autocarro para Leiria? O motorista says, é sim. Alexandra, queria 2 bilhetes, se faz favor. De ida ou de ida e volta? De ida e volta. Quanto tempo leva? Só 20 minutos. Obrigada. Okay. Do you think we're understanding the dialogue? So Alexandra is saying, excuse me, is this the bus to Leiria? And then sim,
Is that available online?
Mhm. But I couldn't read that. But I-
yeah, you can download this worksheet, yeah.
Mhm.
Queria 2 bilhetes, I'd like 2 tickets, please. De ida ou de ida e volta? Single or return, of going, or of going and coming back. De ida e volta, return. Quanto tempo leva? How long does it take? Só 20 minutos. Only 20 minutes. Obrigada. Thank you. Okay. So in a normal class, you would get the opportunity to work with a partner and read through the dialogue. And then we can use this as a model love the idea of using models where we've got 100% correct language, basically learning these phrases and then switching out some words, which means we can be super confident that when we're out there talking, we're saying something that's making sense. So we could switch Leiria or Lisboa, or Coimbra, or Tomar, or Sintra, or Braga. We could change how many tickets we want. We could change the type of train, or sorry, here the autocarro, the bus, and how long it takes. 20 minutos, 5 minutos, there. Okay. And then I like to put these dialogues in English and Portuguese, one side and the other, because we can cover over the Portuguese and see if we can remember from just looking at the English what it would be to enable us to study more deeply what we're looking at. See if we can reconstruct it there. Okay, so there we've got the answers. So there we go, just a little tiny taster of what a level A1 lesson would be like. This is a very short lesson. The lessons are usually a bit longer. I wanted to make sure we've got time in case anyone's got any questions, any perguntas about anything.
Emma, I didn't get a chance to download the worksheet for my husband, so I ended up with a worksheet 8 agosto até 2, diz no aeroporto. Obviously, that's not the right one, but is there someone I can contact if we can't download the right worksheet?
Okay, it should be just there on the website.
Maybe I was in the wrong branch of the website, I'm not sure.
It's in the taster class section.
Yeah, that's what I
So
thought.
here,
Okay,
yeah, taster. There.
okay, that's it, right.
Go to the taster session. Yeah.
It comes out a
At the
little.
moment, it takes a little.
Yeah, that's okay, don't worry about it. As long as we can talk,
There you go.
but if it doesn't happen, yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Okay. It's there. I'll make sure that the taster classes downloads are there. My colleague has put them as products. There you go. To download the PDF, they can click here.
Yeah, it should
You
be.
just click there. And it'll take you to that PDF. There you go.
Yeah,
A1.
that's where I was, but it didn't want to download. Okay, that's okay. As long as we can contact somebody before the class, so practice can happen, that's good.
Yeah. This is just a taster class. In a normal class, you'll get access to the online platform where
Okay,
you've got everything there available, and it's there independent of the lessons. You don't have to wait for a date to download or for an email to.
another question would be for me, can someone practice, like for instance, my husband, he would want to practice pronunciation before the class. Is that possible?
Well, you've got the video is nice. You can repeat after. We use the Quizlet flashcard system.
Okay.
So for all of the phrases, vocabulary there, you've got access to flashcards where you can hear the pronunciation. They're fantastic for pronunciation because you can listen and repeat after. Then in the sessions, at the beginning of the sessions, when I go through the materials, we drill the pronunciation. So like I did with the numbers, I'll say and everyone will repeat. So usually by doing that, when you get to practice with a partner, your pronunciation's good. I'm good at picking, well, we're all good at picking up when we hear things mispronounced in a way that would lead them to be misunderstood.
Of course.
Yeah.
And does it have to be on a telephone cellulare, or can we do it on a computer or an iPad without a cell phone?
Oh yeah, all of those work. Yeah, all of this.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Wonderful.
Yeah, you're sitting on a computer with a screen. It's going to be.
Of course, it'll be awesome.
Yeah. On the computer's nice because you've got more. You can see everything more clearly. Yeah.
Exactly.
But on the phone, it's sometimes it's better connection on Zoom. Sometimes it works better for people. Laura, did you have any questions?
Yes, really. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have the 3 sections, how would I know if I think I would be in the second section? Would I
Mhm.
just come to the first class of the second section, and then if I needed to move, could I move, or would I
Well,
just
if
stay in?
if you're not sure, then email with me before, and I can send you more specific worksheets for you to look at. Usually, people can work it out for themselves. If you're a total beginner, A1.1. If you know a little bit, A1.2. If you're feeling confident, and A1.3 is if you want to start learning the present tense to get into the okay. So
Okay.
usually most
And-
people can gauge themselves there.
Okay, and each course is 12 weeks?
Yeah, each course is 12 weeks. Yeah. Let me show you
Okay.
something else on the website that might be useful. We've got the calendar here, but also the it's various places in the website, but there's a more specific let me go here.
Reason.
Orientation.
Okay, so.
Oh, sorry.
Once I get,
Emma, we're going to sign out, but thank you very much.
Okay.
We'll talk.
Okay. Oh, nice to meet you. Okay. Ciao, ciao.
We'll be talking or emailing.
Yeah,
I need
yeah,
to
yeah.
get
Email.
my eyes fixed.
Obrigada.
Okay. All right. Ciao, ciao. Ciao, ciao.
Boa sorte, gente.
Okay. Boa sorte.
Obrigada.
Okay. There we go. Self-assessment. There's a self-assessment page here.
All right.
And
Oh,
on that
okay.
assessment page, we've got this very detailed table, which might be helpful.
Is she on Zoom?
Just load it.
Where it is?
Yeah.
You can do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. And so you can see in more detail here.
Got it. Okay, I will look.
Exactly
I will
the
look through that.
content of each level. Okay. It's all there for you, yeah. So you can see what's different between them.
Okay. Thank you very much. I
Yeah,
appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
Okay. Okay. All right then. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Nice to meet you. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
Nice to
bye.
meet you.
Okay. Ciao, ciao. Okay. Ciao, Laura.
Is it done? Is it over?
Yeah, this is level 1. A1 is finished. I'm going to move on to A2. Would you like to participate in that?
Yeah, we'll stick around.
You're going to stick around. Okay. All right then. So yeah, we're going to now move on to A2. Maybe while we're here, I can show you. So again, the A2 is broken down into 3 courses. I've got A2.1, A2.2, A2.3. A2.1 and 2.2 are presuming that you've already studied the present tense, but we're going to be reviewing that and really putting it into practice. So the main difference between A1 and A2 is you've already got a bank of vocabulary, you're tuned in to Portuguese understanding, but probably relying on stock phrases to get by. And what you want to move on to doing is taking your own words and making your own phrases. So we'll start looking at you the little bits in between the main words so you can start sounding more eloquent and spreading your wings a little bit. A2.3 at the top of A2 is a course that introduces the past tenses. So we'll go through systematically the past tenses, their conjugation with lots of practice and lots of listening. Okay, so when you get to the top of A2, you really are ready to deal with everyday situations, express yourself, understand. And if you're thinking to do the SIPOL exam, the A2 exam that people do for nationality or residence, then you're ready for that then. Okay. What I'm going to show you now, it's going to be more like A2.1, A2.2. A general lesson showing you the level of that now. So let me open up the worksheet. Again, it's available to download. There. Here we go. Okay. And so, as usual, we have little dialogues here. So prior to class, you'd get access to video with the audio. And so you would listen to dialogue along the lines of this. And now we're looking at you getting able to pick out words in listening. So this type of exercise where there's some words missing that you're listening in to try and pick out is a really good exercise for developing listening skills. Usually you can listen a few times. I'm just going to read it out because it's easier that way. We've got David and Carla talking about, including the picture. Carla, tu tens gato? Tenho. Como é? É bonito. É muito bonito. Tem um olho azul e um verde. Qual é que é azul? O direito ou o esquerdo? Não sei bem qual é. Acho que é direito. The idea here to try to pick out these missing words. So here we've got, if we look at the answers, the dialogue. Carla, tu tens gato? Tenho. Como é? É bonito? É muito bonito. Tem um olho azul e um verde. Qual é que é azul? O direito ou o esquerdo? Não sei bem qual é. Acho que é direito. In the class, then we get opportunity to read this together. It's really nice dialogue here. We've got this verb tens, that from ter, the question to tens, and then in the answer, tenho. We tend to reply using the verb rather than saying it. Como é? We'll talk more about this question in this lesson, but here, how is it? What is it like? Literally, there. So, é bonito. We're using the verb ser here as well, aren't we? Because it's the characteristic defining of the cat. Tem olho azul e verde. Qual é que é azul? Which is it that is blue? Qual é que é? Qual é que é? Pronunciation there. O direito, o esquerdo, esquerdo. Squash up that E. And I like this phrase. Não sei bem qual é. I'm not totally sure. Não sei bem which it is. Acho que. I think that it's the right. Acho que é o direito. The thing we're finding at this level is that the translations are disappearing there. So in the A1 level, we've got the support of translations. Here in A2 level, you're a bit more on your own. But each lesson comes with Quizlet sets, which have all the vocabulary and the translation as sets. So if you're finding that it's challenging, you've got the support of the vocabulary sets there with the translations to look at before you study, which means you can get a lot more out of them. So the theme of this lesson is describing people and animals. So here I've got to put together some pictures that I've asked my computer friend to make. And they're to demonstrate these describing words here. So I've got here Pedro. Make it small so you can see them. O Pedro é alto. That is capa. It's tall. And then I've got Mariana. Mariana é baixa. Baixa, short. I think here, little Mariana is here. Is Mariana. And then I've got Vanda. And she's magra. Magra, she's thin. Who's Vanda? I think this is Vanda here. O Bruno é careca. Careca, it's a nice word, careca. Means bald, no hair. There's Bruno up there. A. Tiago é gordo. He's fat. I might say it's Pedro, but yeah, it's J. There. And 6, a Sara usa óculos. Óculos or glasses. So there we've got an E, Sara. E o João, in 7, tem barba. But I have to just call them. See these guys at the bottom. Yeah. O João tem barba. So that's M. Yeah. Luísa tem olhos castanhos. There we go, the brown-eyed lady, Luísa. And then Patrícia tem olhos azuis. She's got blue eyes. So there she. A Thelma tem cabelo curto. Short-haired lady is here at the top. Curto. E a Catarina é morena e tem cabelo comprido. Brown, dark-haired, with long hair. So that's the F, isn't it? Morena, interesting. We don't have cabelo moreno. It's always the person in moreno. Or morena, like brunette. Ana é loira. She's blonde. She's gay. O Nuno tem cabelo branco. White hair is P. There's. Raul tem bigode. Moustache. My God, he's got a big moustache. Nice memory hook. There, Raul. And o Samuel é moreno. There we've got a brunette, dark haired. There's Samuel, that's in. And Julia é ruiva. Interesting word. Ruiva. She's redheaded. It's agar. There, it's a slave. It's a whole lot of new words. All in the Quizlet sets that go with this lesson. So you can practice the words and expand your vocabulary there. Okay.
So,
So next sorry, Rochelle, go.
I'm sorry. So the words are defined within the lesson?
Yeah.
Okay,
But the meanings of the words.
okay,
Is that what you mean? To
yes.
Yeah. You get the worksheet that looks like this, and then in the video, I'll go through them in this way. And in addition, you've got the Quizlet sets that have got the words and the definitions there. You've
Okay.
also got at the end of the worksheet all the answers there, so you can check it there. I could quickly show you the Quizlet. Have you ever used Quizlet?
No.
Okay, let me just see if I can quickly open for you. Yeah, that's it. It's nice. A little bit slow because I'm online. Nice, because you can put it on your phone. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. This is great. Well, don't know if this is exactly the same set. It's just one that I can show you here. Here, it would be like this. I don't think this is the exact same set, but I've got all of the words. It might be something like this. Yeah. We can do a little game. Or we could just look at the flashcards. We can listen to them as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Ele tem barba. Okay. Okay, so yeah, each lesson, especially something like this, will have flashcards to accompany. You'll be directed to that on the platform.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so very nice. Really, 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 I see a big difference in students who use the Quizlet. Oh, okay. So thinking about making our sentences, like I said, this level, thinking about making sentences. So we've got these three verbs, tem, and usa, to create the sentences. So here, o homem cabelo curto, that's going to be tem, yeah? A mulher alta, mulher é alta. Ela, óculos, she wears glasses, usa. Ele, careca, bald, he is bald. Ele é careca. Sonia has blue eyes. Sonia, bem, olhos azuis. Does Pedro wear earrings? Usa. I could say, does Pedro have earrings? That would be telling. I love this word, encaracolado, encaracolado. Can you see inside we have the word caracol, the snail? Curly means curly. I like the snail's shell. Very sweet. Does Clara have curly hair? A Clara tem pelo encaracolado. O Jorge Barba. Does Jorge have a beard? O Jorge tem barba. Interesting, isn't it? We say a beard in English, just beard. Tem barba. Is Susanna pretty? Susanna é bonita? O Jorge pequeno, José é pequeno, exíssimo, é pequeno. Okay. Using the right words. Another interesting here is the words that are describing the people, like alta, careca, bonita, pequeno, will generally match up to the people. So, o José pequeno, a Susana bonita, emphasizing the end there. A mulher alta. Careca is a funny word. It always ends in A, regardless. Not many like that, but that's one of them. The cabelo and the olhos are different because you're describing the eyes or the hair. So they match up to those words, not the person. Okay, I would normally take a little screenshot to put that in notes to go with the lesson that you get access to. You've got the answers at the end of the worksheet there. And then in the lesson, we've got opportunities to practice. So we will have studied these words before the lesson. And in the class, then when we go into pairs, we'll talk about related things. So here, for example, I've got pictures of people, what they look like. So I could say, she is thin. Ela é magra. Or he is wearing glasses. Ele usa óculos. He has a beard. Ele tem barba. Got some people here. Could describe some of these. She has long hair. Ela tem cabelo comprido. Okay, opportunities to practice what we've been studying. Yeah. And then let's personalize it. Personalization is a really useful way to make language stick. It's one of the techniques we can employ. So very often in lessons at this level, we'll start to try to talk and express ourselves, talking about our lives. So here we've got some questions that we can ask. Tem filhos? Or it could be tem irmãos? Ou tem cães? Ou tem gatos? And then we can ask follow-up questions. Como se chama? Como se chamam? Como é? Como são? So that's that question from the beginning. What are they like? Quantos anos têm? Têm? How old are they? É ou são parecido, parecida consigo? Are they similar to you? An example. Tem um filho? Sim, tenho um filho. Como se chama ele? Questions about him. Chama-se Ernesto. Como é? É magro, loiro e inteligente. Quantos anos tem? Tem 11 anos. É parecido consigo? É muito parecido. Tem olhos azuis como ele. So we can talk about someone. Would you like to practice?
No, I don't think so, but how many people do you usually have in class?
Around 6 people usually. It could be more. But
Okay.
in the classes, when we're all together, we will go through the material and practice pronunciation all together, i.e., I'll say the words, everyone will repeat after me, and I'll listen carefully to see if we need to check anything. But then when you're actually practicing, we'll be in a breakout room. So you'll be in a room with virtual room with one, possibly 2 other people to do this kind of activity. So you get more chance to speak, and you don't have to be doing this in front of the whole group.
Okay.
Okay. Hola, welcome. I see someone's joined here.
One
Oh,
more question.
okay. 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 Okay, so
Emma?
hello?
Yes, just a question about the which lessons would go into how the masculine and feminine are defined. And an example would be bon dia and boa tarde. So why is morning or day feminine and oh sorry, masculine, and then an afternoon or night would be feminine?
Okay. Those words are a little bit different to most words. It's something I touch on in all levels. The very beginning of the courses in the A1 level, we talk about it, and then I review it and expand on it, going through, I think pretty much all levels have got at least one lesson about this. But I can quickly answer your question. Dia is masculine. It's one of a tiny handful of words that are exceptions that end in A and look very feminine, but they're actually masculine. I think there's 5 of them to memorize. D is one of them. And so we use the word bon with it because bon is the masculine adjective. And then noit ends in the letter E, noit. So we have to memorize words that end in E, their gender. There's no easy way usually to decide if they're masculine or feminine. The way to know if a word is masculine or feminine is to look at the last letter usually. So I would say a good 80 or 90% of the time we've got, well, often it's an O or an A, but there are a few other different endings that we can learn that tell us that it's going to be either masculine or feminine.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I mean, there are things like, the word for a boy is masculine, the word for a female cat is feminine.
Yeah.
But in general, it's just about the way we write a word. It's not the actual thing that has any gender. Because I can sometimes have various words for one thing, like a little cup of coffee. It can be called a café, which is masculine, un café, or I might call it a bica, uma bica. So I can have, different words to describe the same thing that have different genders. So it's all about the word and the way we write it. Okay. But about when would that come up in a course? I think nearly every course has got, at least in one or two of the lessons, there's something about that masculine and feminine. Because it keeps coming up. Can't get away from it.
Okay. Obrigada.
Nada. Okay. Okay. So that's just a little taster of the A2 level, the kind of material that we would have. This, to keep it nice and short for the taster, I haven't got any grammar in this lesson, but we might be looking, for example, in terms of grammar, at a contrast between the verbs ser and estar. So here I've got como for describing what they're like, their character, their appearance, and we might contrast that with está. How are you? Your mood, your feeling, your emotions. There. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so that's do you guys have any questions? Any preguntas?
No, thank you very much. It's helpful.
Okay, Michelle, yeah. If you're interested in joining any of the classes, you've got it there on the website, the schedule of classes. So usually people will decide on the level, and sometimes it's what's suitable there. So here you've got the course calendar there. You can see the different levels. Yeah. Okay.
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 Great.
Okay. All right. Then. Nice to see you,
Yep.
Michelle. Ciao, ciao.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Hola. I can see there's someone else there. Hola. Is there someone else there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. Hola. Tudo bem?
Yeah, tudo bem, boa tarde.
Boa tarde. Boa tarde. Sim. Okay. Well, nice to meet you. I'm Emma.
Yeah, I am. I am studying your lesson through the email. I
Okay.
have completed that A1, A2 in the Portuguese school, but it seems some problem during that education because we are I'm from India, so basically I in the from our standard in our education that we know lots of grammar, right? But here also we studied lots of grammar. So my grammar is okay. I can also read and write Portuguese, but there is a one problem in understanding.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I need your that some suggestion or assistance to how to understand Portuguese when that native speaker speaking, because it is very
Mm-hmm.
difficult. I can answer, no problem, but first of all, there is a problem with the listening and understanding.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, the first thing we need to have is a good vocabulary so that what we hear, the words that we hear, are meaningful. So sometimes, along learning the grammar is good, but it's very important to also always be building vocabulary, phrases, and expressions, because it doesn't matter how many times you listen. If we don't come across the word before, it's going to be very difficult. So usually that's the first thing to make sure that is not a weakness. And then the next thing to make sure that we work on is pronunciation, because Portuguese pronunciation is something we need to get used to. There's lots of patterns that we can study that can help us with this. So if we can get used to, if we can learn how Portuguese should be pronounced, we can then, that will help us a lot with our listening skills there. So often working on these two areas will help a lot with our understanding. Olá, Jane, tudo bem?
Ah, tudo bem.
Okay, nice to see you. Boom. Just asking now about the how to improve our understanding or listening skills. So this is what I was talking about. Olá, Jonathan, tudo bem?
Tudo
Olá.
bem, sim, consigo?
Também, sim. Mais fresco hoje. Cooler today, isn't it?
Sim, 10 graus de menos.
10 graus mais fresco, sim, sim. Nice, sim. Okay, bom. So what I was going to move on to here was to show you a bit of the level B1 material. So each level, we've got A1, A2, B1. There's also B2, C1, C2, but here we've just got courses for these 3 levels at the moment. These 3 levels I subdivide into 3 levels. So this taster lesson now, moving on to, is looking at level B1. Hola. And so we've got B1.1, B1.2, and B1.3. Okay. So we have three different courses for the different parts of this B1 level. At this level, usually you're pretty good. You can express yourselves, you can understand, particularly reading, can understand, but you're probably wanting to express yourself better. You want to be understanding more the nuances of what's going on. And then really kind of upping the game and starting to get eloquent, really kind of tuning into things and being able to, have a nice conversation with people. So to be able to do this, we need to add into our toolkit elements of grammar, vocabulary. And so the first 2 courses at these levels, B1.1, B1.2, we're going to be reviewing a lot of what came up in the A2 courses. So we've got the past tense, the perfeito, the imperfeito there coming up. But we'll study things like tal and tanto, qual, looking at making sentences longer here. Okay, hola, Steve, hola, Sonia, Steve, baby, Steve. Just talking about this B1 level. Here I've got gives you a rough idea here on the schedule, but I do have on the there's a much more detailed syllabus here. So B1.1 here, we're going to be looking at these kind of things. Like I said, perfeito, imperfeito, relative pronouns, things like personal infinitives, and more past tenses there, as well as all of the vocabulary. So we do a lot of work on building our vocabulary so we can talk about different areas easily. B1.2, along the same lines, we're going to be building up our knowledge here, there, going into things like the conditionals, not participles, and again, looking at different themes there. And the B1.3, the top of B1, we'll do some revision of points, but we're going to really concentrate on the conjuntivo, the subjunctive here, looking at the 3 different tenses, the main tenses, present, imperfeito, and futuro, the conjuntivo. Yeah, okay. So really getting good, getting nice with everything. All of these courses have got a lot of listening in them, a lot of reading, and a lot of work on prepositions. So getting in with all these little finer points and the nitty-gritty there. Okay, so before we get started, I've got a nice worksheet to go through to give you an idea, like B1, B1.2. Do you guys have any questions, any perguntas about what you want, what you need, what the lessons are?
Generally, where does a SIPL exam come in? Is it the end of the B3?
No, A2. SIPL is A2.
Is it? Okay.
Okay. So if you were considering doing the SIPL, the exam that would give you a nice give you the document you need for nationality or residence is at the end of A2. Okay. But I do have students who opt to study, B1 before doing the SIPL, just so they can be super comfortable and confident. Yeah. But you don't, and they're not expecting this subjunctive. Yeah. But also if you're looking to get certification for these purposes and your level is higher than A2, doing a B1 exam is going to serve the same purpose. It's going to be, give you the paperwork that you need because it's A2 or above. Yeah. And at the moment, the A2 is the SIPL is very sought after, so there's not really any places to do it this year. But there are places to do the B1 exam. Less people are doing it.
I read somewhere they're going to raise the standard. Is that correct or not correct?
I really don't know.
Okay.
You need to talk to a solicitor. I can teach you Portuguese, but I'm not going to get into the intricacies of the law, and it's all up in the air at the moment. So
Up in the air, yeah, okay.
yeah. I can't see anything going through very soon, but not to say that it wouldn't affect you.
I better be quick then.
Yeah. Get in the door. Any other questions about the courses? Anything particular for you guys? I can focus on you. Okay.
Are the options on this course 100% online, or
Yeah, but all
online on track? There's nothing at Cabassos, is there?
No, I do have courses at the school in Cabassos, you see. So on the course calendar there, you can see we've got online lessons at the different levels. You can study self-study all the different levels, and the in-person classes I will do. There will be B1.1 on Thursdays.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Thursdays.
All right. All right.
Okay, you could come along.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Yeah. So don't do all the levels in person. We have them in. Okay. Okay, let's have a little look then. Because I'm gonna have to finish at 1:30. Right then. So this is B1 level, B1, B2. So here, numbers. I keep going back to numbers. They're so very, very, very useful. And often we're not very good at them because we can see them written down and understand them. But when we hear them or go to say them, we're often less than eloquent there. So just looking at some advanced points here with these, we've got things like 100 is sign, 101, any more than that is cento. Yeah. We take into account masculine and feminine with things like and dois, uma, duas. So like 51, 51 or 51. Yeah, can be both. The hundreds can be both masculine and feminine. Duzentos, duzentos, trezentos, trezentos. And when we get up to like 2000, 2000 or 2000. However, 1000 is always just mil, never mil. And we've got the E and, which goes between nearly everything, apart from the thousands usually. 3.525. But if I've got some zeros, I will add in 1035, if I've got a zero there. Or if I've got zeros at the end, 1300. Okay, I can't not have any E's. Okay, so there's cases where I'll use it. For years, I'm going to say the big number, like 1000, 2000, 1900, not 19 or 20. And in terms of the way we write it, full stop for the thousands and the comma, the virgula for decimal points. So how do we say these numbers? So the first one would be 28.95.
Yeah.
28.
Vírgula 95.
vírgula, and then I go 95, 95%.
Yeah, percent.
155 would be
Cento
cento,
e 55.
155. 155. This year would be
2021.
2021. Yeah. Here, 1,000 is
Mil.
meal. Yeah. Meal. Pronunciation with the E. The I is always E. Meal. Yeah. And then 1,575, I will say mil quinhentos e setenta e cinco. 1.575 pessoas. So this would be 250 pessoas. Now, ordinals, 25th. I will say 25th. So this is, we hardly ever say this. It would be 25º lugar. And 2/3, 2/3. So here, the little bit of information there. Okay, there's some matching there, and then we had a text here about Portugal. In a normal lesson, you get a video before the lesson where you'd have the opportunity to hear this, read it with the audio there. So here we've got a text about Portugal. So I could read it for you. Sobre Portugal. So Portugal é país com uma área de... That's a big one. Is it 92.391 quilômetros quadrados e com cerca de... do you think?
10 milhões.
10 milhões de habitantes. Em Portugal vivem, são quantos? 450.000 estrangeiros. It's 25%, isn't it? 25% dos quais são brasileiros. And I think it's 2/3 dos portugueses vivem a menos de 30 quilômetros do mar. E a costa de Portugal tem 1.973 quilômetros. E Portugal é o 12º país do mundo com mais turistas por ano. E o 10º país com mais autoestradas. E a língua portuguesa tem cerca de... What's the último número? O último número was 260 milhões de falantes. Yeah. Okay, so there, lots of numbers, números. Okay, so it's kind of vocabulary that we'll touch on and build up on. Yeah. Right, so then we'll be looking at some nice little bits of grammar. So here I've got a dialogue with Sandra and Felipe. So, o que achas desse frigorífico? Parece-me bom. É bom, mas é pequeno. É melhor comprarmos um maior. Então, que tal aquele? É muito maior e não é muito mais caro. Tens razão. O que é isso aí? É um depósito para pôr água. E aqui há uma prateleira especial para guardar as garrafas. It's a typo there, isn't it? Prateleira, sorry. Here, we've got little phrases É melhor comprarmos, para pôr, para guardares. This is the personal infinitive there. Which is a super tense because it's got no irregular verbs. It has no tense. Well, it's a structure. It doesn't have a tense. And we use it from the infinitive. So we take the infinitive, we add on an ending. We might well be using it a lot and not realizing it because in the first person and the third person, it's just the infinitive. It's in the to form and the nós and the fifth form, third person plural, that we add endings. So we end up with quite long words. Falar, jogar, acabar, comermos, partirem, for example. Okay. But we can only use it when we've reformulated our sentence to include something which triggers it. So the two main situations are when we have a preposition or prepositional expression, meaning more than one word in a prepositional phrase, or where we have these impersonal expressions, which are all the verb ser, in the present, and some adjectives. It's good, it's important, it's difficult, it's easy, for example, in English there. So, here, para passares no exame, tens de estudar muito. In order for you to study the exam. Antes de saírem, desligam o computador. Before you guys leave, turn off the computer. Apesar de estar muito frio, vamos passear. Despite it being very cold, let's go for a walk. Yeah. So here these para, antes de, apesar de, the prepositions. And then my verb, it's gonna be infinitive. And if I want to say, in order for you to pass, I'm talking specifically to you, rather than saying in order to pass in general. Portuguese has this, I think it's the only language that does this way of putting in the person. We don't need to put to ela. We can if we want, but we don't need to because we can just put it here at the end. Okay. And here we've got the impersonal expressions. É importante trazeres o portátil contigo, é melhor estudarmos na sala. Não é provável já acabarem o exame. It's important you bring the laptop with you. It's better we study in the living room. It's not probable that they have already finished the exam. So here, by adding the infinitive, I've made it clear who I'm talking about. Yeah. Okay. Okay. This often is something people struggle with a little bit. But once you get the hang of it, it's a really nice way to say fairly complex things without needing to be really knowledgeable about all the verbs. We can avoid the subjunctive using this very often, for example. There. Is this okay? Do you have any questions? Any perguntas? New for you? Interesting? Yeah. Okay. And so in a lesson, we do some practice exercises, activities orally to practice these. So here, for example, I've got a whole load of machines. A spirador. What's an aspirador? Do you know?
Well, that's a Hoover, isn't it?
It is, I think, yeah. And a microondas.
It's a microwave.
Yeah. Impressora. Impressora.
Printer.
Printer. Good, yeah. Secadora.
That's a hairdryer, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Dryer, hairdryer. And one of my favourites, varinha mágica.
Yeah, that's a magic wand, isn't it? With a bit of
It's
fairy
a
dust.
magic one, but it's actually a stick blender.
Yeah.
Super popular and common in Portugal for the sopa. And the forno,
That's the oven.
oven, yeah. Okay. And then we've got things we can do. Cozer pão, bake bread, imprimir as fichas, print the worksheets, secar o cabelo, dry the hair, fazer puré, make a puree, aspirar chão, vacuum the floor, aquecer a sopa, heat up the soup. So I could make sentences in the to form of these, along these lines to practice this. Precisas de, all starting like this, precisas de uma varinha mágica para fazeres puré. You need a stick blender in order for you to make a puree. So I could start another one. Precisas de, let's say, uma impressora para, here it would be, imprimires as fichas. I could say precisas de, could I say aspirador? Aspirador para aspirares o chão. Yeah, is that okay? Yeah. Okay. And then we could think of things you have in your house to make things or do things. So preciso de telemóvel para fazer chamadas. Ou precisamos de carro para fazermos viagens. Need a car in order for us to go on trips. Okay. Okay, so that's practicing with the preposition. Yeah. And then here we have some ideas, and we're going to practice the é melhor, it's better. So we're going to imagine that you are that really irritating friend who always goes, oh, no, 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 don't do that. It's better you do this. So I could say, vou vestir esta camisola preta. É melhor vestires casaco quente também. Está muito frio hoje. We use a to form. Vou mandar um SMS. É melhor, so we could say,
Mandar as mensagens.
mandares e-mail, for example. Better that you send an email.
O e-mail é mais fácil.
É mais fácil. É possível. Vou oferecer livro a Paula.
Sério, tá.
É melhor ofereceres roupa. Eu pensar em mudar-me para Lisboa.
É melhor
melhor.
mandarmos te para comprar.
Coimbra, sim. Yeah. And then just here we've got some more examples of where we've got two sentences. One of them is a normal sentence with the verb in the normal form. And the second sentence has got exactly the same meaning, but it's reformulated to include a trigger for the personal infinitive. Para, é pena, é perigoso, para, era bom. Okay. And then so the verb there is going to be in the personal infinitive. So, tens de pagar esta conta até sexta. Esta conta é para pagares até sexta. Vocês deviam vir à praia conosco. É pena vocês não
Peraí.
virem yeah, à praia conosco. Não deves conduzir tão rápido. É perigoso conduzires tão rápido. Não caias daí. Don't fall from there. Tem cuidado para não
Queres
Caíres, tá aí, yeah.
Yeah.
Gostávamos de viver perto da cidade. Era bom, it would be,
Vivermos.
vivermos perto da cidade, sim. Got all the answers there. If you want to check anything. So that gives you an idea of what the B1 material would be. It'd kind of be 1.1, B1.2 there. So we're usually looking at some phrases, some vocabulary, often texts and dialogues that are longer than we've got here. Not really enough time to study anything longer in this taster lesson. Do you guys have any questions? Anything you're wondering about the courses, classes, and what we offer? Preguntas? No? I'll just show you where it all is on the website then. So yeah, like I said, if you go to the self-assessment part, there, self-assessment, you will see a little table like this that's tiny, tiny. Can click here to see it better. And there you can see exactly what's in each level in terms of the syllabus and content, which might help you to decide. And then in terms of the scheduling, there's a course calendar page, and that gives you a calendar of everything we're doing. There's the in-person group classes, which run at just a few levels. Mini courses if you're about in person soon. And then the online group classes, which are at 9 levels. This third trimester starts the week of the 15th of September. Different days, different times for the different levels. There, you can book your place. Once you're booked in, give you access to the online platform where you've got access to all the materials, the lessons, the worksheets, the videos, the Quizlet flashcards, and then the class worksheets and Zoom links for the lessons on Zoom. Yeah. Okay. Think good? Bon?
Obrigado.
Okay, well, nice to see you all. Thank you for coming along. If you've got any questions, you can always email me. This worksheet that we're looking at, you can download on the Taster class page there. If you click on that, you've got the worksheets there. You can download for free. Okay. 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 All right then. Okay. Maybe see
Thank you very much, Emma.
Okay. Obrigada. Obrigada. Ciao, ciao.
Obrigado.
Ciao, ciao. Okay.
Ciao,
ciao,
ciao.
ciao.